Good evening and welcome to the quick tips for assignment number 4 on Construction Management 1. I've got a few slides just quickly going through what to expect for assignment number 4, what to look out for so that you don't get caught out with different colors and just the general things on the business plan. All right, so if we move on to the assignment feedback, if I can get it going, there we go. So assignment feedback, what we've done so far is we've completed assignment number 1. You guys have the feedback for that one as well. Assignment number 2.1, we've also completed that and the feedback has gone back to you. For the participative forums, 2.2.1 all the way through to 2.2.9, all of them are now available for completion, so you guys can just move ahead and go and do that. There's no due date for that, except everything has to be completed by the time that we do assignment number 4. Alright, so assignment number 4, this one is due on the 21st, which is really close to that long weekend. So last year I made the mistake of organizing it on that Saturday, so this year we won't do it again. I'll send out an email later on this week to make sure that we choose the right date to do this. Most probably we'll be able to do this all in one single night. So I'll look forward to that last night just before February, somewhere there. I'll put the dates on Moodle. Alright, so for assignment number 4, the requirements really basic. A business plan, that's one of the aspects. The business plan needs to be in a Word document or any kind of word processing type format, PDF or something like that I can read. And that's due with the presentation as well. So the presentation, you need to do the presentation that goes out to the prospective buyers or investors in this case. And the prospective buyers or investors in this case will be all the rest of the students. Alright, so we're going to have a whole group of students playing along, and they will be adjudicating your investment plan. Alright, so I see Philip, you've also joined us. Welcome, Philip. Alright, so we spoke about the business plan. If you look at the assignment instructions for this one, it's really clear. There's different sections that you need to cover. Each of you guys will have to play a different role. And what I want you to do is also make sure that you pass over the control. Right? So I don't want just a single person doing all of the presentation. Everybody gets to go. Everybody gets a chance to do the presentation. All right? So that's on our presentation of the business plan. All right? So any type of format is fine as long as we can see it. All right, so for the presentation, I think this one is what's got everybody a little bit angst at the moment, is a few hints. We've got a 20-minute limit for everyone. All right, so that means that you'll be able to present your business plan for around about 20 minutes or so, and then we'll have a few minutes questions. So we have only 4 groups. That means that we'll be able to finish everything in roughly about 2.5 hours or something like that. So that's easy to do. I know everybody's got a life outside of the class, so 2 hours we should be able to do it nice and easily in that time. Alright, so the font, a little bit of advice there, don't go any smaller than 28. Alright, so 28 is the font at the moment. Alright, so that's the font that we have at the moment. So try not to go too small. If you have too many things on a slide and it gets too busy, it just deteriorates the quality of your presentation. So try and make sure that you have no more than 6 points or 6 items on your PowerPoint presentation per slide. Alright, so what I haven't done is I haven't limited the number of slides. Alright, so that's up to you. You guys just make sure that you stay within the 20-minute limit, and remember that you will have to take it nice and slow when we go through the presentations. So what you'll see, if you look on your screens, what I'll do is I'll quickly I'll just make you a moderator as well, so you've got moderator rights now as well, so hopefully you'll be able to see it. And also Philip, you'll also be able to see it, and Peng, I'll just pass moderator rights to you as well. All right, so you'll see that in the little participants window, there's a little microphone next to the person that's talking's name. All right, so Reese and I, we've got our microphones open at the moment. All right, so if you see a little bit of like looks like a pencil with 3 red dots, that means that specific person is lagging behind. All right, so then you need to just wait for that person to become orange, or the microphone will go away and will come back again, and then you can continue. All right, something that's really important for us to remember is that when we do these presentations, it is more difficult than in real life. All right, so make sure that you choose well. All right, so colors are really important. If you're going to go for fancy colors, nothing wrong with that. Just make sure that the colors are all easy to see on the screen. If you choose to highlight something, make sure that when it's highlighted, you can still see it. And it might look good on your computer screen. My advice is to try and test it with somebody else, one of your friends or other group members. See if you can go into the tea room. Remember, the tea room is open. And it doesn't need to be a student. It can be anybody. All right, so as long as you are inside the tea room, you can use the menu items, and it's underneath the tool item. It's called an in-session invite, and that will give you a link that you can pass on your friend that's not necessarily a student if you want to get them to watch the presentation. All right, so the other thing that we have to remember is try and keep it nice and logic. All right, so that means that we have a structure that's nice and simple to follow. All right, so you'll have a product that you want to sell. You'll have a maybe different logistics or different findings based on the product that you have, and you will be nice and systematic about how you're going about selling that product. All right, so that's really important. Make sure that it's easy to follow, and of course, this point over there, make sure that you follow your business plan. All right, so the Word document that you've submitted, make sure that you follow that as well. The other students might not be privy to that information, but when I do the assessment for your business plan, I need to know that you followed the same process. All right, so important to do at least one test run. All right, and this is just to see where the time goes. You might think that it's going to go really quickly, and you might come up with 50 slides, which you want to do in 20 minutes. Yes, it's quite doable if you want to spend 10 seconds on each slide, but in my experience, we do talk a lot more than what we think we do. So go and test it, make sure that you run on time. All right, so roughly the idea is to talk for about 3 minutes on a slide. If you spend less on a slide, maybe change the information a little bit more, make it more detailed, or add 1 or 2 points that you can talk about some more. All right, so the assignment number 4 also calls for class participation and peer review. I can't remember exactly how much it is, but I think it's about 15% that's up for grabs, and it's really easy. All right, so I'll ask for volunteers directly after our presentations, and you guys will have questions ready. You have to at least sound as if you're interested and intelligent, so really ask nice questions and take it seriously, because there's a lot of work that's gone into these assessment items, these business plans, and see if you can decide if this is a product or a business that you'll invest in. If you're a serious investor, obviously you will have a few questions about the finances, or how they get the product to the market, or what's the longevity plan, is it sustainable, what's the strategic competitive advantage, how long will the strategic competitive advantage last before it gets stolen by somebody else. So those are the typical questions that you want to ask, especially in the finance section. There will be lots of opportunity to ask questions about the different types of finances. All right, so if there are no volunteers over there, then obviously I get to choose a few people and ask them to ask questions. Hopefully we won't have to do that, but at least everybody in the class will have to have one go at asking a question or two for the presenting team. All right, and for this assignment, and this time only, you have to stay all the way until the end, because I need you to do the peer reviews for all of the other students. So if you can't stay until the end, you lose the 15%. All right, so make sure that you stay until the end, because we need you there. At the end of each presentation, after the questions, I will run a small poll, and the poll will go with these questions. I've added 6 questions here, nice and clear, easy to follow. We spoke about that one. Trustworthy evidence, all right, so is this a pie in the sky business, or is this actually a business that we can say, yes, we are going to invest in this because it makes sense? This is definitely an opportunity in the market. We can see that there's something happening over here. My long-time dream, of course, is always to go fly or open up a Bunnings or something like that. If you have a business plan like that, definitely it's got legs. If you say you're going to invent and manufacture sky hooks, it's going to be quite difficult to secure the necessary funding for your skyhook idea. All right, so make sure that you've got your presentation nicely formatted with trustworthy evidence that people can believe and can trust in. All right, so at the end also, we need to make sure that the points are neatly summarized, all right, so that everything is brought back together. So typically you might have a chairperson that starts out the presentation, do the first bit, then hands over to your CFO or your COO. The technical guy goes through it, the procurement guy goes through it, and then right at the end, the chairperson will then grab everything again and say, well, this is what we've got, this is our market opportunity, and this is how we plan on doing it. All right, and then just 2 questions on the presenter itself and the graphics, and then the most important one is there, of course, how you will invest in this venture. All right, so out of 10, each of these questions you get to put in a mark out of 10, and we'll see how that goes. All right, so at the end I'll use that to decide which team wins the prize. The prize in this case is 30,000 Galaxy points that you can use at any Galaxy store. Doesn't really matter which store it is. I might even make it more. All right, so if you don't know what Galaxy points is, and I can see Philip is wondering about Galaxy points, you'll have to go and Google it. All right. I'll refer you to Whose Line Is It Anyway, one of my favorite shows, and you'll see what it's worth. All right, so each of the teams, you guys will be asked to judge. So team 2 will do team 1, team 3 will do team 2, and so on. And we'll see that we've got the 4 teams. All right, so at the moment, the 4 teams on the Google Doc, I can see all the names there. There's only one student that hasn't indicated where he wants to fit into. But that student has also not submitted other assignments, and maybe he's decided to move out of the course. All right, so there we go. That's basically the idea for assignment number 4. Do we have any questions from anybody? Now would be a good time to say, yes, we've got lots and lots of questions, and see what happens.
I've only just got one question.
Yeah, go for it, Reese.
In the course plan for the assessment, you've got 3 documents you've got down to submit. One is a 360 review of team members, and a document containing your references. Is that still required?
Yes, that's still required. So what I'll do is I'll post that onto the news forum in the next couple of days. I'm not too concerned about that one, Reese. I know you guys have worked all quite hard on it. The only reason why I want to do that is so that if we have a freeloader, somebody that hasn't pulled their weight right through the course, then at least we can make sure that we penalize them, or if not everybody deserves the same marks, we need to make sure that that's reflected in the final results for that assessment.
So what exactly is required for that?
Well, it's going to be a free form type of question, Reese. It's just going to say something along the lines as all the team members in this group worked hard on it, and we should all get the same marks. And it's totally confidential. Each of you guys you'll be able to submit it. The other team members won't see it. So if you want to say, let's say team member A, let's say for instance Philip, Peng, and I, we're in one team, and I think Peng has just been really lazy lately because he's just too busy with other stuff, I can write in my reflection to say Peng did not pull his weight in this assessment item. He was supposed to do the finances and he didn't do it, and at the end we all had to rush around on Sunday night to try and finish it, and therefore we won't have him in our team again. So those are the types of reflections that I'll ask for on that. Obviously, I'll only ask for that closer to the time of submission because I don't want you guys to focus too much on that. Otherwise, it becomes a mudslinging exercise. Does that clear it up for you a little bit, Dries?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, thanks for that.
I do have another question. In your
go for it.
For assessment 4, on the bottom of the first page, you'll have to conduct in-depth interviews, and these interviews have to be referenced in the reference document. How do you reference those? Because on the Harvard referencing, it's supposed to be in text. So how would you reference that?
That's right. It's just reference with, it will be something along the lines of when you take the information out and you take the information into your report, that will be in text, and in your reference list right at the end, you'll have the name, surname, date, interview with, and personal interview with that specific person. If you look at the questions and answers database or the questions and answers forum, somebody has asked a question about that previously, and I've already, I went into the university's Harvard document, and I think it's around about page 9 or 10 where they talk about how to reference personal interviews. So just along those lines, that's all that you need to do.
Yeah.
All right.
That was it from me.
All right. So if you don't have any other questions, what I'll do is I'll stop the recording over here, and then we can just have a play around and see what we can come up with. Okay.